Good morning, guys. It is another chilly morning here in central Kentucky, and I have to head into work. Sporting my Cyanogen hoodie this morning because it is, like I said, decently cold. It's like 22 degrees Fahrenheit, which is something like, I don't know, -5 Celsius. Ugh, much better. And oh buddy, if that ain't the way to start the day. I literally got in the car, started driving down the road to go into work, Monday mornings I go into the office. Before I even got out of the subdivision, I see I have an email from my boss. It says he's gonna be working from home today. The only reason that I go into the office on Monday mornings is because my boss is supposed to be there and we're gonna have our one-on-one meetings. It's, I guess maybe because it's a cold morning, maybe something's going on. He's not in the office today, so I'm not either. No sense driving a really long distance out of my way to meet with somebody who's not gonna be there, right? Which actually brings me right back to one of the points from yesterday's video. Today I'm thankful. And today I'm thankful for work. You know, you gotta have your priorities straight. Family, work should actually be really far down the line. But in my case, it actually makes it a whole lot easier on my family because of this job. The job I had previously was very easy on the family, but I had to be in the office all the time. I probably could have worked from home, but it just made it so much more difficult if I did. But the job that I'm currently working has an excellent policy regarding taking time off and working remotely, and provides you with excellent hardware, and it is a great all-around position. Couple that up with working for a company like XDA, where I make a little bit of extra money for making content for them, and doing my own thing on YouTube. And all around, I am very, very thankful for the opportunities that I have as far as work is concerned. But for now, I picked up these weird oatmeal hearts at the store yesterday, and it said it was something breakfast related, so I put it in the microwave for a few seconds. I'm gonna try it out. Well, it's not bad. It's not particularly good. It's supposed to be like an apple cinnamon something. I don't know. It'll definitely get the job done. Well, as I've gotten farther into it, it actually gets a little bit better. I must have just gotten a piece that didn't work out very well. Because yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's not good. It's just not bad. So I wanted to do a quick test since I'm walking around inside the house with the Sony AX33. This is 1080p 60 frames per second footage. This is not a camera that I'm ever going to be using as a vlogging camera, but I wanted to see just how stable this is for walking around. This has got the balanced optical steady shot. Sorry for the weird lighting there, but I can see, like as I'm walking, I can see the lens doing this, which is absolutely amazing. So it should be reasonably steady, and I'm walking at a pretty decent clip. Actually, this should be funny. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Now this could potentially be bad. I'm on the hoverboard. Need to clean my lens. Got something on my lens. But now I'm hoverboarding while I'm filming. This is amazing. Yeah, I don't know which of Sony's cameras actually do this, but if you're in the market for a camcorder, Sony's have some absolutely ridiculous image stabilization. As I was saying in yesterday's vlog, I was literally just sitting there in the front row of the church yesterday, filming the kids. I had this camera, this camcorder, sitting on my knee as I sat there and just pointed it in that general direction, and it captured all that footage where I didn't have to make any changes to it. Everything was set to auto. It was absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. And the footage turned out really well. So this camera is probably going to be what I use for most everything moving forward. Like when we go to the hospital for baby time, this may be the camera that I take with me just because it's able to do so well. It doesn't do terribly well in low lighting. So I mean, as you can see, when I get into these darker areas, let me come in here away from the lighting. Yeah. And actually, even in this, it's not terrible. It's gonna be grainy, it's gonna be noisy, but it's a lot better than I would have expected. So yeah, this may be the camera that I go to when I'm in the hospital with Christina for baby time. Wow. So I took just a couple of minutes. After we played D&D the other night, our DM sent over our experience points, and basically all of us were able to level up to the next level. Don't know if you're familiar with D&D again or not. I tend to throw this in here every now and again. But all of us leveled up, and apparently the monk, the character that I play, goes from being kind of mediocre at level 3 to what the crap happened at level 4. You gain things like chi strikes or key strikes, where up to a certain number of times per day, based upon your wisdom and your level, you can add additional attacks, or you can add additional armor to yourself. And it's all very temporary stuff. So it's like, in my case, I get 6 additional ones per day. But for each of those, let's say, for example, we're fighting a big opponent or a bunch of opponents. I can say, you know, instead of using my 2 attacks this round, I'm gonna do 3. Or if we're fighting some big heavy monster and I'm up in the front of the battle for 1 round, I can say, you know what, I'm gonna have an additional 4 armor on myself. So instead of being a 22, I think I am now, I'm a 26, which makes it very, very difficult to hit me. And then you can also do it for things like making you move faster or move more during 1 turn. So instead of being able to move 8 squares, which is a lot, I could now move like 12? Wow. So this is gonna be really, really useful. And you add that to the fact that I was actually calculating my damage wrong previously, because since I'm now using a 2-handed weapon as this character, 2-handed weapons, you get an additional amount of damage that you do. So this guy's gonna be pretty beefy. Done with D&D, moving on. Time for lunch. And you know, completely random thought here, but while I'm warming up my food, I never actually got around to reviewing this item, and I really need to at some point, but it is super, super cool that we live in a world where we can do this. Alexa, play music.
Here's a crime station you might like. Faith No More.
Alexa, volume 6. And thus, without having to actually interact with anything, without having to touch anything, I'm able to completely control that. Alexa, stop. Yeah, and it's done. And there is background noise, there's me talking, there's, you know, the music was playing and everything, and she was still able to hear me. Alexa, volume 2. Have to remember to turn it back down because Christina doesn't like it loud. Again, time for food. By the way, when we were at the store last night, I mentioned that I picked up some of this Cool House Dirty Mint Chip Buckminster Fuller. It's architecturally inspired gourmet ice cream. I thought that it was some sort of a local thing. A lot of the stores around here have a tendency to go to these local stores and these local chains and take their stuff and actually put it in the stores, which is awesome. However, as it turns out, this one is not. Doesn't make it any less awesome. Tried a couple of spoonfuls of it at this point, and it's, like I said, it's organic mint leaf ice cream, brown sugar, and semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's good stuff. And the very first teeny tiny little taste that I took of it, I kind of figured it was going to be really overpowering with the mint. Like I've done some mint green tea before, or some mint tea before, and it was always really overpowering with that mint. But no, this is actually really nice. Thumbs up. Stepping outside with the dog for a minute. Just an absolutely beautiful fall day out here. It started off really, really cold, but it's warmed up a little bit. Got a little bit of a chilly breeze, but nice. So nice here. Now, for a few days at this point, I've been sort of going back and forth on what to do with my storage. As I said, well, however long ago it's been, a few days now, I had that one external hard drive enclosure die. The drive itself is still perfectly fine and usable, but the enclosure died. It failed entirely. It was an old enclosure, but I've been trying to figure out what to do about it. I mean, obviously I can take the drive out, I can stick it inside of a machine, but at the end of the day, currently I have 3 1.5 terabyte drives and a 5 terabyte drive. So I have a total of 4 drives outside of my SSD, my operating system drive, and I've just got a bunch of random stuff on all of them. I've got videos on all of them, just sort of spread out all over the place, and I don't have a whole lot of redundancy, a whole lot of backup. So what I'm seriously thinking about doing, Amazon's deal of today, or one of their deals of the day, is for a Drobo. And I've heard mixed opinions of Drobo, but this 3rd generation one, it is now $199 for a 4-bay attached Gen 3, which definitely is cheaper than a lot of others that I've looked at this point. And the problem that I've heard with Drobo is that basically you can get your data in there, it's all well and good, it's getting it back out that's the problem. So basically if you ever decide to move away from Drobo stuff, you basically have to manually back everything up and then move it over to whatever you're moving to. You can't actually, they have their proprietary stuff on top. And I think that's to be expected. But looking at this, it says it holds 4 3.5-inch SATA drives for up to 24 terabytes of total storage. Now that's 24 terabytes, meaning it'll hold a total of, I think, 4 6 terabyte drives. Looking over at Drobo's site there, it does say select your drives, and the maximum size one it shows is a 6 terabyte. But just looking at it with the way that I've currently got it set up, if I put the 3 1.5 terabyte drives I've got in there, I'd have a total value of 2.7 usable storage, 2.7 terabytes, with it using 1.3 terabytes for just backup redundancy protection. And if I picked up a relatively inexpensive 1.5 or 2 terabyte drive to go along with it, that would take my 2.7 up to, let's see, 4.08 with the same amount of overhead protection there. That's 1 disk redundancy, which means if one of those 1.5 terabyte drives fails, I can just swap it out and grab a new one. So basically this might not be a bad idea just to get something that I can get up and going with. Copy everything I've got over to my 5 terabyte drive, and then get this Drobo up and going because it's going to reformat the drives, then move everything back over. Very, very tempting stuff. I mean, for $200 and then potentially another $50 to $75 for a 2 terabyte drive. And technically I could go ahead and take that 5 terabyte drive and put it in there as well. So I'd have 4 total drives in there, but you end up losing a whole lot of potential space with it that way. But if I picked up a 5 terabyte drive so that I'd have matched, you know, let's just look real quick. Turn that into 2 5 terabytes instead. So with 2 5 terabyte drives and 2 1.5s, I end up with a total of 7 terabytes of usable storage. Again, it's not the 10 to 12 that I would have if I had everything separate, but I would have 4 terabytes of actual protected space, which is pretty impressive. And if I eventually found a good enough deal to upgrade all of them, that's a total of 13.6 terabytes of usable storage space with 4.5 terabytes of protection. I'm going on and on about this. I'm gonna just continue to think about this in the back of my head and make the decision. I've got, let's see, Amazon says they're gonna be doing this deal for another 13 hours, so I'll just keep thinking about it. Well, I just had a bit of an unexpected visit from DHL. I say a bit unexpected because I knew the package was coming. I actually kind of forgot about it because it's been like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since I heard from this company. But I received this. It is the, I'm gonna say Xinlin. It's Xinlin. X162 follower quadcopter. Probably open that up and take a look at it here in a little bit. I'm actually starting to build up a little bit of a backlog of quadcopters again. Not a bad thing. And I think I'm being a little bit more cautious, a little more careful with them now. I've had so many people come to me recently saying, you know, Christmas time is coming. Do you have any of these you'd be willing to sell off? And it's like the majority of them that I have here on the shelf are in pretty rough shape because I've been kind of hard on them over the last year or so, but I do still love them. So anyway, I'll probably take a little bit of time here in a minute and unbox that thing, get it ready to go, maybe take it outside for a quick flight. And at some point I've got to take the other 2 that I'm working on, take them back out and fly them again, because I think I've flown them each twice now. So I think one more good time, maybe sometime late in the evening would be a good time just to test out their night flying and test out the H98 without all of its extra stuff, no camera, no landing gear or anything, because the camera on it's just not great. The U807 camera is pretty decent, but it's 720p, so it's not going to be absolutely mind-blowing or anything. But anyway, it's just kind of fun to be getting back into the quadcopter review thing, because I hadn't done any flights or anything for a long time. Well, minor update. Duncan has made it home. He's off the school bus. Everything's good. Well, he forgot his code at school, but he'll be fine. He'll get it tomorrow, so as long as he has it before we leave for the weekend, we're good. Additionally, I went ahead and gave in and I ordered the Drobo. I figured for $200, the absolute worst case scenario is that I lose all of the data that I've got on those 3 1.5 terabyte drives. I'm not going to be sticking the 5 terabyte drive into it until I'm absolutely certain everything is good, everything is on there. And even then, I still might keep it separate and might just order a separate drive to put into it. Because I can get a 1.5 or 2 terabyte drive probably in the neighborhood of $75. So for a total of $275 to be able to upgrade the amount of storage I have and unify the grand majority of it with an external backup doesn't sound like a bad option. And on the other side of things, back at the day job stuff, fighting with frustrating stuff. Basically, I've got a firewall that I log in, or excuse me, that my server logs into, that the app that I've created, it actually logs into our firewall. And to make it simpler, it says, hey, you delete this thing. And it logs into another firewall and says, hey, you create this thing we just deleted on the other side. Sounds very straightforward. When I do it from my local machine, works just fine. When I do it from the server, does not work, because it's somehow or another doing it slightly differently. However, I just logged into the server, I logged into the console inside of the app, and did it manually through there, using the methods within the app, meaning the code in the app, and it worked. It looked proper, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna try it again on my production server and see if it works there. If so, I'm just gonna pull my hair out and move on. So where did Duncan go? I could swear I heard him come running in here. Well, I don't know. He must have just gone upstairs. So I'll go up there and look for him. Ha-ha, I see you! I found you.
Hello, me and Dad are gonna play Rocket League like every day.
Weird kid. So I've gone thoroughly geeked out for this one. We're sitting here getting ready to play Rocket League. Got it all set up and ready to go. And I've got my tablet watching Captain Sparkles play on Twitch. Food time, it's dark in here. There you go. She made it home, finally. And it is food time. Food time. Ooh, super healthy food time. It's a box of death with a heart on it.
Did you bring me
I'll bring you chicken nuggets or a sandwich.
Oh, wait.
All sorts of food. Look at
I
that.
wanted a pancake and
Look at
sausage.
that. That's a lot of food in there. You think you're gonna eat all that?
I want my
I ain't
chicken
gonna eat all
and a
that.
sandwich. I want both.
So say that again.
I need you to go to the liquor store down the road.
Pregnant ladies and their weird addictions.
No, I need an airplane bottle of good bourbon.
An airplane bottle, meaning 3 liters.
No. An airplane bottle so I can use it for baking.
For baking brain cells
All the alcohol will be cooked out.
into the belly.
No. I don't even drink bourbon. We live in the middle of bourbon country.
What do you want? It's playtime.
We live in the middle of bourbon country and I don't even like bourbon at all.
Me neither, surprisingly enough.
I like wine when I'm not pregnant.
And when she is, but just can't have it.
Right, I just don't drink it. And I like champagne when I'm not pregnant too. But holiday dishes call for bourbon, so I want some bourbon.
Bourbon it is. And as if by magic, I'm on the road again, heading out to try to find some bourbon for Christina. Now, the funny thing is, as she was saying, we do live in an area called the Bourbon Belt. So basically central Kentucky. There's just like a line across the middle of Kentucky where you can go to pretty much any county in those areas, and they make bourbon. Bourbon is one of the things that was sort of started in Kentucky. So pretty much any place you go in Kentucky, you're gonna find bourbon. And she's sending me out to a liquor store on a Monday night to try to procure some. And just as I figured, quick and painless, bottle of Woodford Reserve acquired. Little teeny tiny airplane shot style, and it's Derby Pie. For whatever reason, I could not remember her saying Derby Pie earlier. Time to get this done. And like I was saying earlier, as far as bourbon is concerned, it's made in a lot of different places around the world, but, a lot of different places around the country at the very least. But I pretty much originated in Kentucky. So that's why right through the center of Kentucky, there's just a line of places where they are making it. Like there's actual distilleries you can go and you can tour, and some very high quality stuff made too. I'm just not a fan of bourbon. Come home and they're being all studious and whatnot. Don't drink it all in one place.
Yeah. Yay, they had Woodford.
It was like $5. $5 for a little airplane shot,
That's how much good bourbon costs.
apparently.
And this is Woodford Reserve. Did you
I know
show?
I did. You kicking some butt?
I'm trying to go.
All of the math. Learning how to subtract. Even though it's all simple for him.
He can already do multiplication, so this is like
Yeah.
really easy.
Well, they've got to keep it sort of leveled out for all of the kids to be able to do it.
At least he does get pulled out to do harder math.
Yeah.
This is pretty easy.
This is really easy for you because you're good at math.
It is super duper dangerous. My brain just keeps coming back to the idea of building a house and having a space for filming this is a great space for filming, but it's very, very tight and clustered now because I have so much in it. I would end up filling up whatever space I'm given eventually, but to be able to sort of start fresh and just thinking of all the little customizations I could do along the way, like running Cat6 network cabling all throughout and soundproofing the room and putting blackout curtains up and soundproofing the windows, putting in actual lighting in the room. I mean, as you see, I've got the light here behind me and the one over there, having lights in the actual ceiling and maybe doing crown molding like we've got up there and actually putting it down just a little bit with LED lighting above it. There's all these little ideas in my head of things that I think would be amazing to have in a room that we can't do here. Dangerous thoughts. Also, I got a notice just a little while ago I got a notice a couple of days ago. I told you guys I ordered another Smile More shirt from Roman Atwood. I got a notice earlier that it has actually shipped at this point, and it looks like, if all goes according to plan, it's gonna be here on Wednesday. We're actually gonna be leaving town on Wednesday to go visit with Christina's family, so we have a bunch of packages I think are gonna be coming in that day, so hopefully everything will arrive before we actually leave. The shirt, it's coming USPS. It'll be here first thing in the morning, no problem. But I think, like I said, I ordered the Drobo earlier. That's supposed to be coming Wednesday. If I know Amazon, they will probably ship it UPS, which will be like 6 o'clock at night before it shows up. And I definitely don't want to leave that sitting outside. We do have local friends that could always come by and just set it inside for us, but I don't know. I suppose we will see when Wednesday gets here. And also, I am extremely, extremely tempted, just on the topic of going to visit with the in-laws, extremely tempted to go ahead and sign up for T-Mobile for their postpaid plan. I haven't really given a huge amount of thought to changing because where my parents live, T-Mobile doesn't work at all, which is really weird. But currently, T-Mobile is doing a thing that for the next 3 months, any of their postpaid plans are unlimited. Now, the thing is, you have to actually eat through your entire data plan. So if you're a kind of person that saves up your data, so for example, if you've got the 1 gig plan, but you've managed to save up, so you've got like 5 or 10 gigs saved, they make you eat through that first before you can actually use the truly unlimited data. I'm the kind of person that I would probably go for like the 5 gig plan or 6 gigs or whatever it is, and then thoroughly eat through that tethering plan that goes along with it. As it stands, the last time I was there visiting the in-laws, I was able to use tethering while we were there, no issues. And it's looking more and more like I'll probably still have that Verizon phone when I go, so I'll probably use that while I'm there as well. Unless Verizon emails me tonight or tomorrow to say, where's our phone? I'm gonna try to hang on to it for another few days, just because it is so handy to have something like that while we're on the go. Well, that was highly amusing. I've been, as I've told you guys, I've been fighting with my tax stuff, with trying to figure out everything for the last several days. Christina came down here and looked at it. She's an accountant, and you know, it is, at the end of the day, it is just simple math. It's just addition and subtraction, but it's all about knowing what numbers go where, I guess. So she kind of said, just go to your bank account, look at the beginning of the year, look at now, subtract one number from the other. That's how much money you have earned extra this year. That's how much money you've earned that you have not spent yet. Look at Amazon, see how many gift cards you've got in there. How many did you have at the beginning of the year? Okay, that's how much extra you've earned this year. So that's the amount we're going to be taxed on, unless you have deductible things on top of that. So end of the day, it adds up pretty well, and I have some wiggle room. So that's definitely a good thing. Of course, there is still December coming up, and I will still get paid from XDA and from making my own videos, and then from Amazon. Not a bad thing, not a bad position to be in whatsoever. But again, if this is a position that you are potentially going to end up in, I'm just going to say it in advance, just keep track of everything. It's a pain in the butt to do, and I'm doing it myself now. Like when I bought the Drobo earlier, I immediately stuck it into my spreadsheet as an item that I purchased, a deductible item that I will be keeping track of. Just watch everything as soon as you purchase it. It'll just make life so much easier. And you know what? It's starting to get a little bit later now. Christina and Duncan have headed off to bed. I definitely still need to unbox that, and I've got one more item over there I need to unbox as well. And there's another video that I have to start working on, so I probably ought to get to it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for spending the day with me. Remember to tell me in the comments below what it is that you're thankful for. As I said earlier, I am still thankful for work. I'm thankful that I have a good job that I can go to or that I can do from home. I'm thankful that I have a good couple of side jobs that I'm able to do that you guys seem to enjoy seeing. I'm thankful for the kind of income that comes in from that allows me and my family to be comfortable, and I want to know what you are thankful for. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, thank you for spending the day with me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.